Hey, this is Sasha, and welcome to another episode here on Let's Talk Stocks, where I share with you my trading knowledge and insight. Now, in today's episode, I want to go ahead and give you some insight on how to go ahead and reduce your mental stress, reduce the overwhelming complexities of trading. How do you really do that? Well, it's quite simple. So let's go to the screen and I'll show you an example. So a lot of people, when they go in and they look for something, let's just say a place to eat, where do you go? Well, here's top 250 restaurants, different restaurant chains. Now, if you had a choice to go to any one of these, you've probably heard of some of these, no matter where you are in the world. You might have heard of McDonald's or Starbucks or Subway or Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A, Burger King, Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, Domino's, Panera Bread, Pizza Hut, Chipotle. There's so many restaurants out there. And if you had this list in front of you and you could just snap your fingers and go to any one of these, which one would you go with? Well, that's the tough part, is that because there's so many restaurants out there, it makes it difficult to choose, right? It makes it difficult to pick what is it that you want to have right now. Now, some of these things can be reduced based on your location, right? So that kind of simplifies the decision. Some of these other, this list could be reduced based on your cravings. What are you craving for? Where have you had good experiences, bad experiences? Where do your friends like to go to? So all of a sudden the list starts to narrow down because of your habits. But when it comes to trading, especially if you're new, you don't have those habits in place yet. You're still building those habits. And what's important to realize and recognize is that when you have a simple list of just 3 to 5 restaurants, it makes your life decision-making process a lot easier. Just like having a menu that only has maybe 10 things on it makes your life a lot easier. But when you have a menu with 57 different items that you could choose from, it makes it much more difficult. So it's the same approach when you go to college, right? If you're choosing the best college or university for you, well, you could look at a list of top 50 schools and colleges, and maybe they rank them based on, what do they rank them on? Well, probably salary coming out. It could be based on prestige. It could be a lot of other factors. But what if you want to be a welder or a photographer? All of a sudden, going to Princeton may not be your best bet. It might be better and smarter to go to a technical school. It might be better and smarter to go and work with someone who's a professional photographer and bypass the whole college altogether. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to college. There's a place and a reason for that, but knowing and understanding why you're doing something and the constraints, all of a sudden now it makes more sense of your choice. So if you're looking to simplify your trading, if you're looking to reduce that mental burden, the overwhelming things that are happening in your mind, the back and forth, the hamster wheel, the decision-making factors, it's to simplify things, right? It's to go ahead and simplify things. If you're looking to choose a school and a college, and you're looking to do one now all of a sudden, hey, in your state or within 50 miles of your current home or your parents', it makes things a lot easier. It makes things much more simple. And it's not as overwhelming. It's not as stressful. So people oftentimes, when they do go into trades, they go ahead and they look at watch lists and they start creating a scan. Well, all of a sudden, the conditions that they look to scan is huge. So let's say we're looking at conditions and formulas. Now, I might have a condition here where it's stocks that are in the Russell, $11 and more, and let's just go ahead and do a scan. All of a sudden, I got 955 stocks. 955 stocks. And I got to go and through these to figure out which stock works for me, for my preference. Now, if I say, well, I want to reduce that and I want to go ahead and change this from $11 a share, well, hey, I want to go ahead and get some stocks that are more pricey and expensive. Well, I could change that to $91, right? Greater than 91. And now I could do the scan, and that goes and reduces my results to 276. 276 is a lot better than 900 plus. It's a lot less work. So that's your goal as a trader, to reduce your mental overwhelm, is to go ahead and fine tune things, to simplify things, to make it less complicated. If you want to go ahead and do a list of maybe the S&P 500 and then narrow it down even further, you could do that. If you want to go ahead and do popular companies that are, let's say, trading a high share amount or a high volume amount, well, all of a sudden you could say, hey, well, Microsoft's one of the biggest traded, Apple. And you can say, hey, these are the most popular companies because they'll probably paying dividends. They've probably been around for a while. Not saying that's always the case, but you could stick to kind of that range and region. You've probably heard of things like Nvidia or Disney or Procter & Gamble or Johnson & Johnson and Netflix and PayPal and Lowe's. So there's a lot of companies out there. Walmart, Adobe, Home Depot are some of the popular ones. MasterCard, here's PepsiCo and Boeing. So that's the thing, is that if you have a group of stocks that you're watching, that's small, 20 stocks, 20, 30 stocks. It makes things a lot easier. If you have, when it comes to option trading, just 3 to 4 strategies, it makes things a lot easier. And all of a sudden, you're not overwhelmed. If you manage your trades 1 or 2 ways, maybe 3 ways at most, it makes things a lot easier. What people tend to do is they go ahead and they start a big scan list. Or when it comes to options, they put on one trade, then another trade, then another trade, and they try and change it or adjust it one way, then another way, then a third different way, trying to hit different things at different points, but there's no consistency to it. I think that's fine at the beginning when you're first getting started, but as you go ahead and you've built a strategy up and you've seen kind of what works for you and what doesn't, all of a sudden you want to fine tune those things. So as you dig deeper, start simplifying things, because when you can simplify things, it makes your mental overload a lot easier, makes the decision making a lot easier, and you can execute those things a lot faster, meaning you can trade execute faster, you can decision execute faster, there's a lot less lag time, which means you're getting better fill prices as you're getting into the trades, usually because you're making those decisions faster ahead of time and more efficient. Anyways, I hope this was helpful, gives you some insight. So start simplifying things, not only in trading, but also your life. And if you did find this video helpful, feel free to subscribe on YouTube by clicking the face icon here, or join me on my newsletter list where I can get you some discounts on products, materials, books, courses that we may go ahead and release in the future, or just stay in touch. So that way we get to know each other a little bit better and you can get updates on other free, great training. Thanks for sticking with me. And remember, do what you love, contribute to other people, but most importantly, live life abundantly. I'll see you next time.